Hey everyone, it's Brent Laster from Tech Skills Transformation. We're here with your We Love Open Source AI Tech Tip of the day. Today's AI Tech Tip is all about creating diagrams with your favorite AI chatbot or interface. So we're going to talk a little bit about how to do it in ChatGPT, but you can do it in other systems as well. So what you'll see on my screen here really quickly is just a question to ChatGPT where I had it outline the components of Model Context Protocol. I've been teaching some class around Model Context Protocol and wanted to have a way to kind of get the outline of it and also visually illustrate some of the concepts. So you can see here that ChatGPT responded with a very nice sort of outline of the different components of Model Context Protocol there. And that's great, but not everybody likes reading through all the bullet points and reading through all the details of it there. Sometimes it's nicer just to have a nice chart or diagram that explains it for you. So, turns out you can do this very easily, and you can actually just tell ChatGPT to create a diagram to illustrate how these components relate to each other. And you can see here on the screen that after a few minutes, it came up with a pretty decent one, a sort of block diagram here for you. However, it might be that you actually want to modify it a little bit, or you want to have a chance to play with the outline of the diagram or some of the characteristics of it too. So what you can tell it to do is you can tell it to create a diagram in different other kinds of syntax. And there's a couple of diagramming languages, frameworks that you can use. One is called Mermaid. So I can tell ChatGPT here, create a diagram in Mermaid syntax to illustrate how these components relate to each other. And you can see here it has put out some text, and this text happens to be a formatting language for the Mermaid platform. Now, if I take this and paste it over there, there was, to be clear, a slight syntax error. But the nice thing is that tools like Mermaid generally include some things to refine this or to fix up problems with it. In this case, you just need to add a couple of quotes around this part of user prompt and system instructions. But what I did was I took that information from ChatGPT, pasted it into mermaidchart.com, which has a live preview feature, and then updated the syntax of it to make it correct. And then after doing that, you can see I ended up with a very nice chart here that has all the MCP components on it. Now, one of the things that I can do, and I'm jumping ahead of myself a little bit here, but let's go back to this part. I can actually tell it to say, hey, your syntax wasn't quite correct, but here's the corrected syntax. And I can also ask it to make each of the shapes in a solid color. Now, I didn't tell it to make each of the shapes in a different color. I told it to make each of the shapes in a solid color. So here's what it did. It created a little bit of style classes here. And again, I can copy this and I can paste it over. And it comes up like this with a nice blue background on it. Now I can actually just have a white background here, and I could copy and paste this into any kind of document or PowerPoint or whatever I wanted as well. A little tip here, if you do use this in a document or PowerPoint, I find it's useful to put into the notes the syntax that originally generated a diagram so I can come back to it later and I can actually use it then if I need to go and tweak it. Now, one more quick tip here with this, while I'm on the subject of generating diagrams, we can also ask it to generate this for other platforms. One of them being like PlantUML, if you've ever used that or if you're not familiar with it. It's just another diagramming language there, but some people prefer it. And what I can do is just say, generate the same diagram for PlantUML format. Pretty straightforward. Then I can just copy the syntax that it generates from that, and I can go and plug it into the PlantUML editor. But if I didn't want to have just that diagram, what I can do is actually say, create an example flowchart. I want to have something a little bit different to look at. So it created this example flowchart for me that I was able just to take and pop into this PlantUML editor, planttext.com, and you can see it generated a very nice little flowchart here. I've got options here to save this as a PNG file, an SVG, a PDF, or TXT, and there are all sorts of options as well, and I can grab that and again put it into any kind of document that I want. So I hope this gives you some ideas or some thoughts around how you might use these tools to generate diagrams as you're going along creating bullet points or trying to explain something to. Keep in mind these tools are great at generating diagrams and having this, and you can play with the syntax there. You can go back and ask it to make different color shapes or make it a different format, like a flow chart, or make it left to right instead of up and down, all sorts of things. So thanks everybody, and have fun with AI.